Your communication skills are not that great. Let me tell you this, you are really talented, but I think you gotta improve a lot. And also, I don't think so you're a fit candidate towards this job. And let me tell you this, you're really slow when it comes to work, okay? These are some of the most common things that we keep on listening over and over. This is not something we intend to do, but it just happens. This is a learning process. But let me tell you this, practice over time will always make you improve in all of this. But there are few people who tend to get nervous over and over. Not everyone is that confident in life. But sometimes, confidence is the key towards success. This takes some more time to get built up. Let me tell you a few examples and situations where entrepreneurs make these mistakes while getting nervous. I'm Varsha. Welcome to the Freedom Business English channel. Do not forget to subscribe and download our Freedom app. Why do we get nervous? Usually we get nervous in the most stressful situation. This is our biological reaction. We tend to get nervous when there is a sudden situation that we did not expect. But repeating this over and over might actually cause a trouble even for an entrepreneur or a person who's working in that company. This might get you to a trouble situation even when you don't expect it to be. This might affect your business as well as your financial status. Let me tell you these few situations and mistakes entrepreneurs do because that leads them to being nervous. First is that thinking about their surroundings. They tend to think that their surroundings are completely full of positive people. As an entrepreneur, you should be positive. You should be the one filling positiveness into other people, but not thinking that everyone around you are good. When there are good people, there are going to be people who are even struggling to understand the job. There is your place to go and understand and make them learn what the entire job is about. Because if you don't teach them, people might turn out to be on the negative side. As an entrepreneur, you should understand which is your main strength and how can you correct all these people. But in return, if you're the person being nervous thinking that I cannot correct these people, there is your mistake. You will end up making more and more negative people around in the business cycle and the business will fall apart eventually. So thinking that everyone is positive around you is one of the red flags because not everyone is positive or good. You have to stop trusting everyone and thinking that whatever job is given to them, they will fulfill it. It's not the same every time. You have to understand which are your weak ones and how can you train them. Talking about the second weakness is that believing in yourself. Moving on and practicing over and over again, they'll get perfect at it. If they don't believe that whatever they're doing is right or they don't believe in their team, then that might cause a big trouble to the entire company. So an entrepreneur has to keep thinking over and over again if he or she is good at whatever they're doing and do they believe in themselves. Hardships are something that we keep coming across. Thinking about this might happen over and over again is again a mistake. Stop thinking that whatever happened once might happen to you again. Something which has happened to you in the past might actually be something that you can learn from and not to repeat them. Even if it did repeat, learn to overcome them in the way that you solved the first one. So this is the way you fill positiveness into you. But thinking that you cannot believe in yourself is something that you already have failed as an entrepreneur. So this is what is the second mistake most of them end up doing. Not believing in themselves is one of the biggest mistakes. If you were capable of starting this company, then you can do it. Next mistake, and this is one of the major red flags, is that they compare themselves to others. As an entrepreneur, this is the biggest mistake you're doing. Competition is something that you have to develop yourself, but not compare yourself. Probably your competitors might be developing themselves and improving in whatever they're doing. You have to learn ways to improve by yourself, not thinking that he's doing it and you can't. Giving up is a first sign of failure. So do not give up. This is one of the most common stress situations that an entrepreneur goes through because he or she will end up thinking that they cannot overcome whatever they're facing. So thinking that other person is better and going through the comparison process is itself a red flag. Going through all of this only might give you a major stress situation and you might go through a lot when it comes to this. Your mind actually is bound to get nervous and you'll end up failing in whatever mission you're up to. And thinking about the situation where you go and compare, comparing yourself to one most eligible person is great. But comparing yourself over and over and thinking that will you reach that height is nothing but copying. You are just copying that person and thinking that I will reach to that position where that person is already there. So do not set your mind towards copying. Comparing is a good fact, but copying is not. Think about if you're comparing or copying. So think about this over and over and then you will know if you're nervous or brainstorming towards growth. So understand what is important for you first. Comparison is not one of the biggest solutions that you can have. Comparing and developing opposite to them and then thinking in your own way is something which is really good. Next one is not having self-compassion. Let me tell you this, guys. This one thing which is called as our own selves is our own enemy. We are our own worst critic. But what we tend to do is that understanding the worst from our best is one of the things that we improve in. But one thing which we do is that taking our worst as even more worst. We are our own destroyers. We think that whatever we are doing might not be right and we are guiding people who follow us also in the wrong direction. So we think that we are not capable of fitting in this world and we are not capable of being a part of the business cycle like others are developing. This is something that we often tend to do, and this is one of the things even entrepreneurs majorly end up doing. So think about it again. Are you your worst enemy? Are you the person who's bringing destruction to your business? When you think about all this, you're already breaking down. This is one of the worst things that you can do to yourself. You are not your own enemy and you are not the one who's bringing destruction to your business. If you think you can do that, then I think you can even be the creators. You can understand what is your positive level and what is the most important thing and why have you created this business, and most importantly, what your talent lies in is your business, and I know you can do it. So thinking that I know I can do it is one of the most positive signs that you can take care of. And thinking that you are the worst version of yourself and you're the only reason all of this is happening is one of the most bad thing that you can think of. And again, when I tell about not having self-compassion, what we tend to do is that have too much of self-awareness. I know that we should be self-aware in a lot of situations. Anything which is too much is always bad. Thinking about ourselves in so many levels that even others don't even observe that in us is something that we should stop doing. Thinking that probably whatever we are talking right now might not make so much sense. Thinking that other person will never understand what you do. Everything might actually indicate towards the bad way you're making your business grow towards. Think again. What is the most important thing for you? And what are you good at? If you just think about these two questions, you can overcome all the worst things that you have thought about yourself. Let me tell you this, you are here for a purpose and you have to fulfill it. Nobody is born without a talent and you have your particular talent. Probably you might just take a couple of days to identify it. But not having self-compassion will actually keep you way back in time. We learn from our mistakes. Just because we made a mistake doesn't mean that we are bad or we are worst when it comes to our particular business or the way we run it. We have to learn from it and then find a solution and then grow above that. Most of the times, this is what leads to anxiety, depression, and fear. So try avoiding this as much as possible and be what you are and try to understand what you're good at. Everybody falls. That is very common, but you are awesome and you can kill it as well. Next one is the connection. Most of the entrepreneurs fail in this round, talking about the connection and bond you have with your employees or the people around you who have entrusted their business or who have entrusted their investment with you. Let me tell you this, if you're nervous to talk to the people whom you have to convince to join hands together with this business, then you cannot do anything. I know that being stressful at certain situations is something that we understand, but doing this over and over and going through the same thing, that means that you're lacking the most important thing, that is confidence. If you don't have the confidence to talk to people and make them understand why you've started this business and why your team should follow you, then you're lacking a lot of things because you don't have confidence. Then you won't be a great leader. First step of being a great leader is to build confidence. Confidence can actually take you miles ahead of a lot of people. Guys, most of them cannot stand in front of 100 people and talk whatever they can. If you are able to do that, then you are that person who has a lot of confidence and you are that rightful leader. So if you think that you are that leader and an entrepreneur who can run a business with full confidence, then understand connection is the most important thing. Connection is your bridge to people. Connection is what brings you all together and makes them understand why your business is in the place where it is now. Connecting and understanding people and then telling them, talking to them, communicating with them is one of the most important things. So if you're an entrepreneur who gets nervous while communicating and connecting with people, then you should overcome that with confidence. Build your confidence because there are many more ways to build your confidence. Start talking to people, understand what their mindsets are, then understand what is the most important thing that you have to tell them so that they can understand why you are an entrepreneur and why does your business exist. So these were the mistakes that most of the entrepreneurs face and think that, so these are the situations where stress arises. So if you're one of those entrepreneurs and don't want to go through this stress, Watch these videos and try overcoming no matter what, because I know that you are awesome and you can do this. Thank you so much for watching this video. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Also download our Freedom app, which has many more business that you can start as an entrepreneur with confidence.